Without a hitch,
Excellent.
kids would say.
Welcome, challengers, to Battleground of the Gods, a Smite podcast. I am your host, Step Nation, and joining me today we have BOTG
What's up, motherfuckers?
and the BigRed. Welcome,
What's
welcome.
up, OGs?
You know, living life.
So you're gonna come on here and talk to just Depp and I. You're not gonna say hi to all the listeners.
You know, I mean,
Hold
I've
up. We've
heard
gone
that
over
the-
this. You're also
No.
saying hi to Nev. You're also saying hi to Nev. We've
yeah,
gone.
but she was supposed to be here. She was supposed to be here. So when
That's
I
true.
when I
That's true.
had to come up with something to say, she was
so
supposed to be here.
wild plot twist. Fro wasn't supposed to be here.
Exactly.
So
Fries, motherfucker.
exactly.
Some fries.
Nev was
motherfucker.
supposed to be here. So I thought it was going to be the three OGs.
These lies, motherfucker.
I love.
What
Have
a
you
great-
seen? Okay, since you said that, I assume you've seen the compilation of all the different mixes.
Oh,
of
it,
Oh yeah.
it's great.
He fucking
Oh, yeah.
cracked me up.
It's a
Eyes,
couple
motherfucker?
minutes long, and it's just a short bit. Oh, I love it.
I
they're
also
all
love, and
perfect.
this is the beauty of memes and meme culture, right?
Mhm.
Because literally meme culture, that memes themselves can, that right there, right? Surprise, motherfucker, right? That is a meme in itself that came from something.
Yes.
Oh,
Then
absolutely.
twisting what that meme is into something else that rhymes with it became a meme in its own right? But like if you watch that compilation video, towards the end of it, there's ones where like it is like multi-layered deep of memes making fun of memes, and it's so convoluted that like if you were to take the starting point in this, it would and nothing in the middle, you'd have zero idea what the fuck this thing, why it's even funny, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Like I think another good example is I saw it was right, it showed a calendar, right,
Okay.
with all the days x'd off. Right below it is just a picture of Justin Timberlake. You're laughing because you get it, right? Because you understand the layers of memes there. If you don't understand the layers of memes, you're like, that's fucking stupid, right? And that's because the "it's gotta be me" became a meme, and then that became itself, "it's gotta be May," right? That became a meme. So it's like literally just seeing Justin Timberlake and seeing the end of April, you understand the joke that it's gotta be May.
Mhm.
Right, and that's what
memes
I
are
just fucking
great.
love of like the internet culture and meme culture.
Did you guys ever play Skyrim with mods?
No.
I did not, but I have watched.
There,
I guess I
there was a
didn't
mod
watch
that
a
I
lot of
had,
playthrough, but
had
I-
on my Skyrim, and every time I got a stealth kill, it would just say "surprise, motherfucker." And I spent way more
That's
time in
great.
stealth than I ever did in any of my other playthroughs.
Listen, if any game had that soundbite for any stealth action, I'd spend a lot of time in stealth
Yeah.
as well. Like I think that goes without saying. I think a lot of people would spend a lot of time in stealth actions if that was the
I think
case.
I went ahead and got a couple other mods on it too that made it so my stealth was like perfect, so I never got seen. And that way I could just basically
nice.
walk around the entire game in like normal speed, but still in stealth. So
It's still
every kill
stealth,
you get, you
yeah.
just get the
Alright.
surprise, motherfucker.
This is a non-humble brag, because I ain't being humble about this shit at all because it took work.
Mm-hmm.
In Skyrim, I was a level 90 character.
Mhm.
That thing was like 87. But we'll go with 90, because if you've been
Okay.
on that grind, you understand it was fucking close.
Yep.
I got my stealth, my sneak, as it's technically called, up
Mhm.
to 100 without cheating, teasing,
Hell yeah.
without doing
That's intense.
any of the bullshit. I stealthed. I snuck. Motherfucker. I had
You
my
didn't go up to the wind
one-handed-
callers?
What's that?
So you didn't go up to the wind callers and stand behind one of them while they're praying and just beat the shit out of them for 9.5 hours like some of us?
Nope. I didn't do any of
Oh.
that cheesy shit. I didn't sneak up around the graybeards and walk in a circle around. I did it legit. I got my one-handed up to 98 legitimately. Right? Just beating the shit out of things with a mace. Dual
Mhm.
maces, by the way.
Hell yeah.
I got my archery up to 100 legitimately. And I also got my, like, I quadruple legendary my enchantment, alchemy, and blacksmithing. Or like quadruple dupled.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
A lot of my levels came from that.
And with it being Skyrim, you probably enjoyed every minute of it, and it's probably still one of your go-to games, huh?
So here's my thing. Skyrim really itched this ADHD portion of my brain, right?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Where I would get some arrows, get a bow, I would just go out hunting, right?
Yep.
And it'd be like,
Okay.
"Ooh, look, a bunny!" And I'd shoot the bunny, and I'd go run over to the
Yep.
bunny, right? And I'd pick up the stuff, and I'd be like, "Ooh, look, a flower!" And then I go pick up the flower, right? And then I look up again, you're like, "Ooh,
Yep.
look, a butterfly!" And then I run over to the butterfly, and I'm like, "Ooh, look, a bear!" And then I go run over to the bear and shoot the bear, and then I'm like, "Ooh, look, a ore vein!" And I go fucking get the ore vein, and I'm like, "Ooh, look, another butterfly!"
Yes.
Dude, it. There's a reason why those specific skills were the ones I got up the most, because I spent so much time going, "Ooh, look this," and then would go after that.
And proceeded to go after that. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it really did just like tickled that fucking ADH. Like, you want some dopamine every 30 seconds? Which, ironically, here's a very ironic thing too. There is a very specific game design thing that they do in Skyrim that is part of that, right? But they do it more specifically for quests and everything, not just like I did it for like the gathering and the loot,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
the little bullshit. But in open worlds like that, game designers try to have it so you never go longer than 90 seconds walking in a direction without running into something. Right?
I'm all
And
for it.
It's something you will never notice, right?
Yeah.
Until you actually stop and think about it. But like, if you ever look at a map of Skyrim or any like open world thing, if you pick a direction and walk for 90 seconds, you will run into something to do so you don't get bored. It's an intentional game design, right? And so like,
Yeah.
you
Pretty cool.
combine that world building with my just absolute love of finding all the little bullshit stuff on the ground. Oh my god, I got lost in that game for a while.
This is a solid game, man.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I've never beaten it, not once. I have met the
Nice.
Greybeards, and that is far as I got in the story.
I like it. I like
Solid.
I've beaten every single DLC though.
You know?
They're
That's an
literally just like,
achievement.
yeah, they're like, save the world from dragons, and I'm like, how about you get fucked? And they're like, hot vampire chick, and I'm like, oh my
Exactly.
god, she needs my help. Let's go.
She needs my help.
I have to go. I want her as my follower. Let's go.
Someone's got to save the day, and it ain't gonna be these dragons that are running around. So I guess it's gonna
Definitely
be me.
not the dragons.
Oh.
So yeah, that was my Smite games this week.
Sounds very Skyrim or Baldur's Gate.
I mean, realistically, my week has looked like Baldur's Gate. I haven't played any
Okay.
Smite since last Sunday.
Well, it's fine because we've been gone for 2 weeks.
Well, shit, I guess it has been 2 weeks. Did I play any Smite before that? I don't think I
That's the
played
real
any Smite
question.
before that.
Damn.
I've just been on a bit of a hiatus of Smite in general. I've already
Yeah.
mentioned how I'm getting kind of bored with this
Find it
current
out.
meta.
Yeah.
Although I did play some Mama Brigitte. Maman,
Yeah? What
by
do
the
you
way.
think?
There is an N at the
Maman.
end of her name.
My
Maman.
man.
Maman. Real quickly, I want to touch on this because a few people have got a little upset because A, they don't know much about voodoo mythology. Maman Brigitte is white.
Nice.
That's she's white. She's the only white voodoo, like Orisha, not
Figure.
Orisha, Papawa. Oh, I can't remember the exact name. Loa. There we go. But yeah, she's white because voodoo is a very syncretic religion. Means they combined different religious practices or different beliefs into one. Very, very Catholic influenced. One. My mom, Brigitte, actually pulled from out of Celtic and Irish mythology.
Hmm.
Well, that's part of the reason why she's a pale redhead, right? She's Irish, imagine. That being said, I don't have a problem with her picking her up a little bit.
That's fine.
I mean, she's still
Kinda fits
rather
her
pale,
model.
right?
Yeah.
But I have zero problem with it. I just wanted to bring that up because I know there's a few people who brought that up, but it's like, hey, yo, that's actually historical. If anything, they made her too dark. I'm okay with her being her anyways.
I think she looks good.
Yeah, no, aesthetically, I think she looks fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her kit feels great. Very
Yeah.
fun to play. Burst damage is super high. My only complaint I've had with her so far is I got her an assault, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be good, man. She does a lot of damage and shit. I didn't think about the fact that she has
That's
like
tough.
no range. She has
Yeah.
dude. It's like getting
No
out
range,
or
yeah.
a Wheelix. You really feel like an
She
assassin.
needs to be
like,
on you. Yeah.
You really no, you just feel like an assassin in assault. You're just like, I can't do much.
Right.
I knew I wasn't gonna do much during the quote unquote laning phase. Towers and shit.
Right.
I figured like once towers went down, like I'd be able to have an impact, but
it's tough. I think
it was tough.
in situations like that, I know like E-staff helps a lot. Because your 2 can fire out a decent ways.
Not compared to who I was going against.
Oh no, but
Yeah.
like as far as like hitting any abilities, it's gonna be the 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I was definitely leveling the 2, and I started off. What is it? Excuse me. Tried and true thing. If you ever get like a super short range mage or someone you suck with, that's magical. I bought Pythags, right? So it's like I know.
Yep.
And I did go with the
Totally.
E-staff, right? It just didn't matter.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like you'll have like at least an impactful ult, right?
Right.
And her ult is probably one of the most least impactful part of. Yeah, it does have the knock-up.
It's not a long knockup.
Not a long knock-up. The damage is okay. But the rest of her stuff just is so much damage so quickly that I feel like the ult is. It's so she has team fight relevance.
It gives you time to walk that extra distance to be able to dash into them from range.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just doesn't. It's not like a Morgan ult where it's like, I'm relatively unimpactful, but at least I can do this every once in a while. Or like an Ao Kuang where it's like, I'm not doing much unless I catch someone out, but if I can ult, I will. Hers is just very much so, at least in assault, and I guess just kind of. It's just very much so like, so she can have some impact. And like I said, the setup. I mean, it's still really it's a good ability. Her whole kit flows like she's fun. She's very fun, well designed. Damage might be a little high, but that's average release god. I think they kind of need to take a little bit more into consideration of how. Well, yeah, that's part of the fucking crazy part too. Is her passive is what's blowing you up. It's
all that damage is coming from her passive.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's so crazy. Especially when Hachiman's sitting over here like, cool, I got 4 more MP5.
Right.
But I think they need to take a little more consideration into when they release a new god. A bit of the skill, or when giving them a bunch of damage, right? Because her skill floor is really low. Like, yeah, she does have like a preferred combo, if you will, or a way that her kit best, but you could really just push your fucking buttons in any order and you're not gonna be necessarily wrong, right?
You can, but I was in a match and sweet Jesus, this person figured out Maman Brigitte because they like weaved the abilities together in an order where I'm like, wouldn't have done it that way, but that works a lot better than what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I
Well, yeah,
can't I can't recall which match it was, but it's like got fucked right up.
well, the big portion of it is make sure you use your dash last, because then
Yeah.
while you're sitting inside of them, all
You
your
get your
abilities
cooldowns back.
Yeah, that's really like the big one. Just make sure you do that one. And that's kind of my point, though, that you can theoretically do it in just about any order, real quick and easy to learn. Because of that, I just feel like maybe her damage shouldn't be quite as high as it is on release, especially because they're doing the longer nerf cycles, right? Or longer patch cycles before they come through nerf her. Because if it only takes 2-3 games to figure her out, and the whole Smite community has a month to play those 2-3 games,
It's gonna be crazy.
that last week and a half of that month's gonna be real stressful every time you see him on. I mean, I picked her up my first game, and I think we ended up losing because, like, the snowball, or they started a snowball, but at one point I was like 16-4 on my very first game on her in Conquest, right? Now, granted, I have brought up how Conquest is like one of the punishing modes in the game right now, ironically. So I was able to make a few early mistakes, but dude, I picked up, I fucking got, me and my mid laner got first and second blood. So literally first time pushing buttons on this fucking god. I'm picking up kills with I forget who was my mid lane. I think it was like a Morgan. And like, don't get me wrong, my Morgan played very well and had a good early level 2 fear. Right? But, and because I think I grabbed my dash level 2, so I also had iframes at level 2 while doing damage. We did work, but the fact is, like, I was able to be like so quickly like, oh, level 2, pick up my dash, which is generally something you want to do anyways on any god. Level 2, you almost always want your dash if it isn't your first safety and fucking safety. But the fact that, like, her dash also gives her the iframes while doing damage at level 2 just really, really, it was just too obvious to me. So, like, if you pick it up and we did all the extra damage. Yeah, it's just, for my first game, I felt like I was doing too well, too easily, too quickly. Anyways, that has been the
they should have sufficient game data on her, though.
They should.
I
don't know if they're going to touch her in the bonus. They should.
Real fun site, SmiteMaster.com, right? Smite-Master. Gives you a whole bunch of metrics. Now for Joust, as far as pick rate goes, second highest pick rate since patch 10.10 plus. Anubis, he's been picked just shy of 25,000 times in Joust. Guess how many times Maman Brigitte has been picked?
Pause for a second. Since when?
Yeah. 10.10 plus.
25,000 games of Anubis.
But it's 24,543. But like round up, you know.
I don't know if they, let's say you and the enemy both picked Anubis, if they're going to count that twice or not, right? If that's a different.
It's how many times he's picked.
Times he's picked, right? So we'll assume there's some mirror matches. So let's take off.
There could be
300, right? Take off 300, sure. Especially since we're talking about a popular god. So
he still beats number 3. He still beats number 3, which is Cuckoo, at 19.5.
So he still has 6,000 more picks over the third place, right? So I think shaving off 300 sounds fair.
Sure. Guess how many times Maman Brigitte's been picked up?
Hold up that.
Yeah.
That means there are 20,000 games of Joust. Like, let that number sink in. 25,000 games of Joust have been played since that patch.
Yeah.
With just
Anubis
being picked.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there are 6 people, and I don't know how this site does it. It could be, double counting matches and all that. But let that number just sit in when people are like, Smite's a dead game.
Definitely
Just
not a
Joust.
dead game.
Just
Definitely.
Joust.
Just Joust.
21,000 matches been played in 4 or 10. Whatever fucking patch you said.
Yeah. 10 plus.
Just then. 21,000.
Guess
How
how
fucking
many
dead
times
can a game be? And that's only one mode. That's one mode. That is Joust. I'm going to assume.
I don't think it's ranked.
No. I'm going to throw ranked
casual
in there too, right? We're going to put all the negatives on this to make it sound as bad as possible, so people can realize that it's not a fucking dead game, right?
Well, no, ranked is a different.
It is okay. So it legit is listed separately. So this is just one of 9 different fucking modes. I think there's actually like 6, right?
Yeah.
Joust, ranked Joust, duel. Conquest,
Arena, Joust, Assault /
Doesn't
count customs. So you got 5 and 3, 8.
8. Was that right? Yeah. Okay, so 8 different modes. This is 1/8 of the fucking modes. Picking 1/120th of our fucking choices of gods, right?
Yep.
In only 1 out of 12 months, 21,000 games. But Smite's dying. Fuck off with that.
Smite's dying.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'm going to use that same exact argument. High res, pump some fucking money back into it. I'm tired of hearing that's a bullshit excuse. Change up assault.
Bro,
anyways, continue.
We were talking about Maman Brigitte.
Yeah, we
and
probably
how
were talking about something.
They have some game data on here.
My bad.
Do you want to know the amount of Joust games that Maman Brigitte has appeared in?
42,000.
I'm gonna probably say, since you're asking,
yep,
she's
number 1. She is number 1.
Is number 1, 38,000.
You would both be incorrect by a significant margin. 80,123.
Oh, when you said that, I'm like, fuck, dude, we overshot that by like 8,000, didn't we?
Yeah,
not that we were halfway there.
You were halfway there.
80,000 games is Maman. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Smite's dead.
We can look at her conquest. Guess how impressive her conquest pick rate is.
100,000.
Conquest being the most popular game mode and beats Joust by far, I'm probably saying it's close to 150.
135,691.
I was a little hesitant because I'm like, it takes a lot longer, so you can crank through some more Joust. But on the same hand, Joust matches go on for fucking 30 days, so...
Yeah. Yes. Granted, she does have about a 50% win rate, so...
For a brand new release god, people are supposed to be playing them for the first time and coming out victorious half the time. Which 50% win rate is the win rate Smite wants the player to have.
Next most picked, also Anubis. Anubis showing up. Did they buff him? I need to play him more.
He can walk.
He can
now
move.
one.
The moving while he cast his one.
He can move.
Has done a lot for his safety.
Yeah.
And especially because part of the problem is when you used to, I mean, you know this, Step, when you'd cast your one, but you weren't in the perfect spot, and you're like, fuck, there's that one minion out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can just like take that step forward and it actually gets clear.
Correct.
Waste the time autoing and all that other little bullshit. And the fact that he can move with his one while camps are being unleashed.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, he just...
But Anubis representing 32,747 as far as pick rate, games picked. 100,000 less games than Maman Brigitte.
That's crazy.
So now again, I think, remember, skewed this picks. You could probably cut that number almost in half because you can almost assume that there was a Maman
even
on
if
both
it's
sides.
just 80,000 games.
Even if we do cut in half, that's still fucking a lot, right? But I think it's a pretty safe assumption to say you can cut it almost in half because there was probably a Maman on both teams.
Oh, here you go. 45.6% pick rate.
Okay, yeah. So she's being picked
in about in about 1 out of every 2 teams.
Yeah. So I mean, but there's nothing wrong with that with a new god who's popular, and I will
Right.
say that she's been. I don't know if necessarily Maman has been. I don't know, not the word, not desired for. Anticipated.
Yeah.
But a second voodoo god has been, right?
Yeah.
So there's just been people waiting for the pantheon to be filled, which is a bit odd because a lot of times people are like, I want this god, right? Like, how long were people waiting for Horus? We want Horus, right? We want someone else from the Egyptian. Whereas I feel like this one was a lot more, we want a voodoo god. For one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But once we caught on to it was being Maman, people were like, cool. We were kind of hoping that was the one you were.
Yeah.
And plus, like, I don't know, people like the power couple thing. Which I'm not opposed to. Like, Smite doesn't have much for a fucking story and shit. Like, if you got something just that is that simple and easy, like you bring in your wife, cool, you should do it.
Yeah.
Not opposed to that.
Makes it kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes you kind of wonder why it took so long for fucking Persephone and Hera to show up, right?
You know,
Why was there a
wonder.
5-year gap between the husband and the wife showing up? I would have been like, yo, bring them in. Bring them in. Fucking, we're doing Smite Drama 101. Let's go.
Yeah. I would have thought Hera would have been one of the first couple seasons with how popular she is in Greek stuff.
Well, I think so. Like, they started out with a lot of Greek and Roman gods.
That's
and
fair,
I think they try to dig from other lore pools if they can. But then also figuring out a kit that somewhat goes with the lore is
well, and it wasn't until, what was it, season 5 or 6 where they decided that they're going to stop trying to fill out a pantheon. Out a pantheon.
Oh, that was like 7
before. No, it was early. It was before. It actually was before we started the podcast because I remember them talking about it on VD too.
Oh.
Because that's a design thing they used to do, right? Hi-Rez used to, they brought a pantheon in, they would do a god of each role in that pantheon. So if you look at the Celtic pantheon, that's why we have Cuckoo, Cernunnos, Morgan Le Fay, or the Morgan, Cardio, and Cleota. But they actually stopped before Cleo, right? I think
and Cleo just worked, kind of.
Yeah, well, there was a big gap. Because I think it was either after Cernunnos or the Morgan, they were like, we are done trying to fill out pantheons for the sake of filling out pantheons. Here's Chernobog.
With one of each role.
Here's Baron. And then just didn't touch that pantheon for another year.
Didn't they do the same thing with like Chernobog 2 and Slavic?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I mean, Baba Yaga came out eventually, but
like a while. What was she, like 7? Late 7?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They said that they were gonna, like, we're done trying to fill out pantheons. Here's Chernobog. Like, that's pretty much so what they did, and like they just did not come back and drop Baba Yaga like a year. Whereas before it would be if they did a new pantheon, every other god was from that pantheon.
Yep.
Which is limiting. I understand why they didn't do it. And like, also now that I know a little bit more of like their design, what they go for, right? And it makes perfect sense. It's like a back and forth. Not entirely, right? There's other factors, but it's very similar to a back and forth. We have God that we know people want and have been like anticipating in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Risk. God we know that they want. Unique. God we know that they want. Interesting. You know what I mean? Like, right. I get it. And when you're having to try to make a pantheon fit into that model, it makes it much, much harder. So I'll use an example with gods that they already have in the, let's say, whatever reason they're trying to be like, hey, we're gonna, we need a really well anticipated god. We're dropping Zeus, right? Everybody knows Zeus. You know the name. Boom, Zeus. You don't, like, you just pretty much will say we're dropping Zeus, and people are like, fucking sweet. That sounds awesome, right?
Yep.
And then you come out and you're like, all right, We're gonna drop this Celtic ghost god that no one can pronounce and has ever heard of, named Cleota. But she
Yeah.
has this very interesting mechanic people have wanted, where she can go into walls. So there's no actual hype for the god, but it's a unique kit, right? And like hopefully that's what
absolutely.
they can ride on. And then we'll bounce back over to, all right, high demand, high popular god. We're putting in fucking like Hades, right? So it's like,
Right.
oh yeah, Hades, hell yeah, we wanted Hades. He should have been in here, blah 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 blah. And then after that, they're like, all right, let's go for something very unique, very interesting. Let's drop a Danzaburo.
Right.
Someone no one's really ever heard of, but he's very
Heard of
interesting
him.
to look at, very unique design. Tanuki.
Fun to play.
Like, fun to play, yeah. And then we'll come back and we're gonna drop a insert another fucking popular god, Anubis, right? We're gonna drop an Anubis. Come back and let's do another something super interesting like a King Arthur. Although King Arthur kind of does fit in both. Yamoja. We're going to do Yamoja, a god with a very unique, interesting. They don't use mana. They don't have cooldowns. They have an Omi thing. And then we'll bounce back. And it's like, it goes back and forth. And I totally fucking get that. Now, if you're having to try to do that while also making sure we're pulling from the same mythology,
Right.
It'd be way
dude, you
harder
put your
for
own
sure.
balls in a vice grip. Like, you
Yeah.
literally did. I don't know why I'm ranting so much today. I apologize.
Why? Yeah. What's going on, Fro? You okay?
We took
You
a
wanted to
2 week
have that
break.
OT
Fuck.
today.
Yeah.
I mean, it could also be part of the fact that like I ran out of my medication, so I'm just like fucking free roaming it.
Going off. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not my fault that he rescheduled, but also didn't give me enough prescription to make it until the next appointment. So, woohoo.
You know, been hearing a lot of that.
What do you mean you've been hearing
yeah.
a lot of that's unfortunate? Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's some medications that it's like people like there's a long wait time for refills.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even got a long wait time for refill. It was just literally like I only had 2 months worth of prescription, right?
Okay.
And then he did my checkup 2.5 months out.
Ah.
Or actually, he
Excuse
did
me
it
for that
like
last time, yeah.
he did it like a month and 3/4 out, and then rescheduled me for a month later. So it's like
the
boss man,
reschedule. Gotcha. Yeah.
like I'm literally just gonna run out. You never gave me enough in the fucking first place to make it this long.
All right.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. There's a reason why I requested a new doctor. Anyways.
Well, those are some exciting games, Pro Double G. The BigRed. How have your games been?
Did I even
these,
mention a single fucking game
weeks?
I played?
Did you?
Maman, you played Maman.
You
one
didn't
game.
play.
I played Maman. Yeah,
You
she's
played
fun.
last weekend.
all right, cool. I mentioned a game. Moving on. How you doing,
Yeah.
Red?
Yeah. No, I hadn't played Smite for a few days and hopped on last Friday. Got to start off the week with
Wait a minute. Well, hold. Stop. Should we introduce Red? I know we're like
Oh, we
30
probably
minutes
should, huh?
in, but should we introduce?
We can do that.
Just been chilling.
Yeah, Red. Who are you? We say your name every week, but who are you?
Yeah, so just like now the podcast can finally say that they actually have like a real shitter, not
Oh, I don't
some
know
people
about
out here that are carrying the lobbies. I don't know.
about
Every
that.
time I play, I'm bottom of the lobbies, but no, just a casual Smite player, just for real casual. Love playing the game. I've been playing since Xbox beta. I believe it was Medusa that came out. It would have been like middle of 2015.
Okay.
My buddy that's actually in the Discord, Skullmuck, he got me into it. He knew that I liked the like mythology type stuff because he also got me into like the Percy Jackson series. And then we just started playing together. And when I first started, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna play this Hercules guy. He's pretty cool. He's pretty big. Start swinging on people." Found out real quick I am terrible at melee, and warrior is not my my strong suit. Found hunters and pretty much almost have all the hunters diamond. Primarily play hunter, mage. Just have fun. Found BOTG. It would have been December of 2020. First episode I heard was the 139.
Okay.
And started listening for a few. Probably it would have been about 3 weeks or so, and I I think we was like omnipotence or some mode of the day, and Fro was actually in there, and I was like, "There's no way this is Fro from the podcast I listened to." So I messaged him and was like, "BOTG?" He's like, "Hell yeah!" And then had to figure out how to download Discord and stuff, and then just been a part of the BOTG community since, and listened to the episodes pretty much every day at work. I've listened through all 280 some episodes now. We're going on the fourth
Oof.
time through, so big fan of the
That
podcast.
that's commit. I don't have that level of commitment. Fuck me. Good on
Just
you.
you know,
See, this is the
I
part
like
that's
it. It's
so weird for me because
Yeah.
I know exactly how what that's like because that was me with VD2. Right? 'Cause I listened to so much defend middle lane that like
Yep.
I was on like it, to the point where if the host had a question about something that they said on their own podcast, they messaged me, "Hey, do you remember when I said this?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, hold up." And then like cuz I'd have a rough idea and within an hour I'd be like, "Yeah, this episode right here. I thought it was this one. I just had to go double check." You know what I mean? And it's and at the time I thought it was so weird. It's like I don't get how they don't understand how they like when they said shit. Now I wholeheartedly get it. It's like I have 288 worth of episodes of me saying stupid shit, 2 hours of it each fucking week.
Yeah.
I don't remember most of what I said, and it was probably dumb anyways. So like, yeah, I get
It's
it.
funny because I base work memories now, like certain things that I got to remember, like deadlines or certain things I was doing. I base it off of what episode of the podcast I was listening to at that time.
That's
Like
wild.
when I first
No, I
started
get it.
listening,
I
I was
dead
doing.
ass get it, dude. I know the same
Oh yeah.
exact thing.
I was doing landscaping stuff, and I had a big ass tree I had to remove, and I was out there for like 3 days. And the episode that comes to my mind when I listened to it, it was Depp was I think it was a uh, Battleground U of Ganesh, and Depp was just going into all things Ganesh, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna play some Ganesh now. And I played the game, and I like fed my absolute brains. I was like, I'm not playing
Oh
Ganesh ever again.
no, we'll get you. We'll get you good on Ganesh. Don't worry.
Yes, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down to learn. That's the fun part. That's what I
All
like
right.
about it. So, but a cool little, or I think it's cool. So before I started listening to BotG, I had only played 16 games of Assault, and that was December of 2020, and now we're sitting here at 365 games of Assault played. So
Oh,
you did
very
it, Fro. You
nice.
converted another Assault player
I don't know why you're blaming me for that one.
because I play Assault with you.
I still think it's ironic that the very first Assault game I ever played ended with me saying I'm never playing this stupid fucking game mode again.
That's what I always said. Yeah.
Remember? Oh, I'm dying.
Okay. Yeah.
That went down the wrong hole.
Sounds like it.
I'm sorry. Do you remember your first?
Assault game?
Yeah, who'd you get?
I actually got Artemis, and I was like, this is gonna be hella fun. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, my buddy and I think we had played, I don't know, it was maybe I don't remember what level, but I hadn't played much like actual like fighting real people. And I was like, this is gonna be so much fun. Tried to back for the first time. I was like, wait, why am I not healing? My game's broke. My friend's
Wait
like,
a minute.
nope, that's just this mode. You can't heal. You can only buy stuff when you're dead. I was like, this game sucks. I'm never playing this one again. And then
Yeah.
a couple times, buddy
But now
talked
you
me
get
into
it.
talked you into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's so much more fun, in my opinion, than just about every other mode because it's different every time. Like, it's not a lot of
I
meta.
wholeheartedly remember mine because not only was my Assault my very first fucking game, like my very first Assault ever, on a god I'd never played before, it was Hunbots, right?
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
That was my very first game against real people ever.
Yep.
No shit.
My
I feel
very
that.
first game ever was.
You fucking bot matched all the way
Yes.
No.
to
No,
being
no.
able to queue Assault?
Oh, no. This is old times, man. We're years ago. You used to be able to Assault level 1.
Right
Oh,
away.
fuck.
You used to be
Right
able to
away.
skip
Yep.
tutorial right into Assault, bud.
Yep.
Well, damn.
Yeah. So I had played, I think, like 3 bot matches ever total. So this is like my 4th ever Smite game ever, including bot matches. And my buddy puts me into a fucking Assault and I get Hun bots. At like, by the way, I'm working 3rd shift at this time. So it's like 7 a.m. on a fucking Tuesday. I swore I would never play that stupid fucking game mode again.
It's I don't know why I used to hate it so much. Like I think it's because I didn't have all the gods, like any kind of concept of what they did. I played the hunters that I liked and a couple mages, but then when Depp was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna where I get every god to rank 1," I was like, "Oh, I should do that." So then I
Mm.
started going on that train about. Well, I was behind in episodes, so I started doing that too, and then um, started just to enjoy Assault a lot more. And once you kind of have a better idea of the all the different gods, then you still you still get the shit gods, but at least it's more fun than being like I can play 4 gods and there's 120 gods in the game.
Yeah.
It also used to be a thing where you only got gods that you owned.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there were certain people, I may have been included, that had alternate accounts that only had the most absolute busted gods possible.
I
Uh-huh.
never would have thought of that. That's funny.
No, yeah, like literally I had an account where I only because you can only have the gods you own. So I had the 5 free, the 5
Right.
rotation, Aphrodite, Hel, Cuckoo, Anubis, Alpwash, uh Zeus, like Artemis. It was pretty. I only owned like 20 gods, but they were like the most absolute dick punch. Fuck this dude gods.
Pretty good team comp, or I guess god pool. I mean
Well,
that's
that'd be the thing. Like
pretty
if I were to
decent.
get one of the free rotations god, or like let's say Thor, I could re-roll it, and the chances of me getting like a Zeus or an Anubis was very fucking high.
Yeah.
Because you would only ever get the gods you owned, right? So it was really, really, really busted.
And two, being
That's
on
something they
console for
desperately did need to change. Because A, you had people who would abuse it like I would.
Yep.
And you know what? I still don't feel bad. I still don't. I still don't. And I
No,
won't. If
sounds
they
like
were
an
to put it back,
intentional game flaw. Like
intentional game flaw.
working as intended. Yeah.
Working as intended. Flawed.
and on the Xbox One, you couldn't get into the queue and swap gods or really like re-roll because you only had like 4 or 5 seconds by the time it locked you in. So
Oh yeah, they
that was
also had
also a big
much
reason
shorter
why.
times too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't make it very fun.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's the BigRed. How was your games?
Oh yeah, games. Yeah, the games. Yes. So no, first one was I had to hop on Dansborough arena. Uh, pretty decent 10, 4, and 25. Played some Assault. Got Cupid, Artemis, Kukulkan,
Hell yeah.
and Ishtar. Ishtar, it's 100. I don't mesh well with her. Like I get kills with her, but I don't have like fun playing her. Um,
Yeah.
You
but the
enjoy
next
playing
game was good
Hachiman?
because do what?
Like playing Hachiman?
Occasionally, not that much.
All right, then you're not going to enjoy Ishtar because she's just Hachiman but better.
That's fair.
She's Hachiman with variety. Hachiman with
She's,
usefulness.
I was gonna say
Yep.
she's Hachiman with more than one ability.
Yeah, I mean honestly.
Next game was better. Got Heimdall. Went 16, 3, and 9 in Assault. So
God damn,
that
Heim is
was
so
pretty
fun,
fun.
man. Heim is
Heim
so
is so
fun.
much fun.
I know I fell off from
Such a
him for a
good
bit
god.
there when I did my switch to PC, but every time I get him, I'm just reminded how much.
He's so much fun. Like
Dude, there's
he
just
just
something about those fucking autos, dude. When that fucking the fucking the overhead one, when he just like hucks that axe, you're like, God damn, do I feel like a man? Like throwing that some bitch. And the fucking
he
dingers,
is
dude. Like the dingers are just like,
yes.
get the fuck out of here. Especially, there's something so satisfying about an assassin leaping on you, and you just like, nah, dude. You pitch that underhand, bing, and fucking
Yep.
send him out the park. It is so satisfying.
That baseball skin made Heimdall for me because when he first came out, like I didn't really play him all that much. I was like, he's kind of confusing or like whatever. Like I'm stuck at his ult. And then that baseball skin came out, and I hit someone with that for the first time. I'm like, okay, I gotta learn how to play this guy a little bit better. And then all went downhill, and I've played him. I think I'm like 1,400 worshippers on him. I think.
He's fun. He's fun.
He's enjoyable.
Oh,
And then I thought
that
I'd
does remind me. I had one MOTD match, right? I was Heimdall. I was Heimdall, right? I was playing cooldowns, and there was a Loki on the enemy team. This fucking Loki was running from me. It was great. It was fucking great. Because you know Loki can stay permanently invisible in that game mode, and usually they're just like an utter piece of shit in that game mode.
Yep.
Well, just the simple fact that like I threw my one up and would start chasing him down, and he was like legit running, and I'm like, come here, come here, buddy boy.
See you.
Yep. Oh, dude, it's so fucking great. Alting the dude when he's invisible. Loved it. Loved it.
Heimdall is he's just the guy, man. He's just a lot of fun. But then I had the good idea I'm trying to get Agni to 10 right now. So I played 3 games as Agni. 2 of them went pretty good. Had pretty, decent stat lines, nothing spectacular. And then the last one I just completely fed my brains out, and it was 07 and 20. Not a good game of Slash. Slash. Yeah. Just I think it was just the way our team was playing together and the picks that we were into. We couldn't do anything. We just couldn't make any pushes. We couldn't seem to group up at the right times, and it just never went well. And then finished off this last week with 1 game of Omnipotence with my buddy Skullmock. So it's pretty fun. How about you, Depp? How are your games?
Oh boy, let me tell you, I've been matching up with my buddies, and if this Smite Guru page will load faster, I can get my history better. But I've been playing with my friends. We've been jousting like none other. And
Hell
I think my buddy gave
21,000
me
Anubis games, Depth's 400 of them.
400.
Not all. Well, 400's a chunk still, right?
Yeah. No, actually, Fro, I'm taking a god out of your portfolio. Bastet. Been playing a lot of Bastet.
I don't know how she got there, man. She just did one day. I just picked her up one day in Conquest and on one of my Conquest streams, and I haven't put her back down. I don't know how it happened, Dep.
I'm doing disgusting things as Bastet. There was
we had 10 that's the problem, isn't it?
We had a 10-minute surrender. My buddy on Poseidon, he did about 5,000 damage. My other buddy on Neath did about 4. The enemy Vulcan was just shy of 6. Enemy Thor just over 6, and enemy Thanatos just over 5,000 damage. Guess how much damage I did as Bastet, Fro?
Clocking 18.
I'm clocking 18. Yeah, right. 19-0, destroying these people. I'm almost averaging 2 kills a minute.
Damn.
Yeah,
I don't know she feels good right now. She really does.
She's great. It's bomb. I don't know why, but like
I can't tell you either. They haven't done shit to her. If anything, I've actually besides that they gave her cat, what was it? 1 more auto. But like I was playing her before they did that.
Yeah.
And like she still felt fun. Maybe it's the itemization is good for her right now. Like all of her items do feel really nice right now. I can't tell you what it is, but it does feel great.
She's been feeling
so fun right now.
Lovely.
I think I also probably had to do that match. I think you were in it, Dep, where I hit like 95% of my beset ults.
It feels great when you hit a best ult.
Yeah, I don't know what
that one. That was that Conquest stream, right?
Yeah, it was one of my Conquest streams where I just randomly picked her up and I hit like 95% of my ult, and I'm like, this feels good. This god feels good.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we won that game.
I would hope so if I hit 95% of my ults. Right. I don't hit 95% of fucking anything in this game.
No. Nothing.
Because I remember that one specific one, because I remember there was a Kamazoth we were going against, right? And I remember leaping away as he went to go leap in, and then 180 ulting him, and just like all of us just dumpstering the dude. Like that's the only thing I like fully remember about that game was the fucking leap ult.
Leap ult. But I'd say the majority of my games are Joust. Every now and then I'll play an Assault if I get on before my buddies. Just as kind of a warm-up, And in the assault a couple days ago, guess who shows up on the enemy team?
Briggs, you're making me do a lot of guessing today.
Yeah, I am. Guile Smitey, Dirtnap Dan,
Oh shit!
and Beagle. So,
I ran into them like a week ago too, or 2 weeks ago.
yep. Yep. So, they were on the enemy team. I was Danzaburo. I pick up my Bluestone starter item, and I'm like, what full item can I get? And it might have been a mistake. It might not have been a mistake, but I picked up Runeforged. It's a great stat stick. Let me tell you, Runeforged hammer. Have you looked at that thing lately, Fro? Got a little bit of
I
power,
literally
200
just
health.
walked away. I'm sorry.
Well, fuck, Fro. Come on.
I heard you say you picked up
Runeforge
Runeforge.
hammer.
Yep.
I picked up Runeforge. It's a great stat stick, let me tell you. And lo and behold, they've added this glyph to it now. And I'm like, well, there's glyphs on Runeforge hammer. I don't pick up this item too often. Let's see what it's about. So I'm building a tanky Danzaburo in this assault match.
Okay.
And I'm actually slapping. I did the most damage on my team. But you know, got my Runeforge, got my Bluestone. I get Shoguns because, attack speed, protections, health. I got my Glad Shield because damage on abilities, health, protections. Got Pridwin because now I can ult into you, get my Runeforge proc wherever I land. I have a shield. I can just start dumpstering abilities into you. They did push to win and end the game after that, but it was working great for me.
I would have never
Tanky
thought to pick
Danza.
up the Runeforge.
You get the the breaker or whatever that puts that AoE on the ground.
I got the Flame Forged.
That one do?
Additionally, enemy gods within the rune are burned, dealing 5 plus 10% of your protections from items and abilities is magical damage.
Yeah, I could see that. Because you'd still want to keep some damage, right? Because you need to.
Well, I wanted to keep some damage, and that being magical, we had a Yamoja and a Gab, and they both built tanky. So I'm like, well, we need some magical damage. Which now that I'm thinking about it, good on another item for having magical damage.
Could have grabbed a mystical mail then if you were close enough.
Yeah. I tried not to be too close.
Yeah. Or you could always just go the alternate route and grab something that does.
Right. But well, I think my next item was going to be Heartseeker because I'm like, well, we need to start pumping some numbers. So
because even on a lot of when you do like people that aren't normally supposed to be tanky, like you were doing on Danza, one thing that you do got to keep consideration, which excuse me, which you did.
Yep.
You're not like a huge CC god like Morgan Le Fay that has in CC. Still got to be threatening.
Oh yeah.
Right. And even if that threat's not much, it's got to be there. So it's kind of like a shock. If you build shock, here defense, like we're talking no gladiator shield, not a single pen item.
Yeah.
Just like health defense.
He doesn't do shit.
Really not scary because I don't have any CC, so you can't stop me from doing things. Damage doesn't threaten me enough to do anything. Danza kind of falls in a similar one where it's like, yeah, you have CC, your ult, I guess. You have your taunt, which is relatively easy to hit, but not secured, not guaranteed.
Super securable. Yeah. There is the tremble on the. Is it tremble or intoxicate?
Intoxicate.
Yeah.
Which is a minimal CC, very soft.
Yeah.
So you while you do have CC, you do kind of still need to just threaten a bit through some damage.
Right.
So picking up like those items are definitely.
Yep.
think I've said it before. It's kind of the warrior mentality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was either going to be a Heartseeker or not Heartseeker. Fuck. Yeah, Heartseeker or Kins for the auto attack bonus. Because that adds up. Fuck, does that add up?
Right.
Yeah.
You know. But we did take the L, but then I ran it back. I ran back Tanky Danza in Joust. Went 10-0. Felt great. Um my buddies got online. And yeah, I did 20,000 damage in a 16-minute game. Gotta love it. It's
Dang.
Tanky Danza. Tanky Danza doing it.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah. My one buddy, he's like, you're like me and my other buddy. He's like, you're like our Sam the Dude. You're just like, you're just gonna be better than us. You're gonna carry us. And like the game works different for you than it does for us.
That's why I feel playing
I'm
with
like,
you
oh,
guys.
thank you. Right. He's like, I almost don't want to play when you're not online.
It makes it hard when you're.
He's
sword
like, we'll
shooting
get a random. It won't be what it. They can't do what you do. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. You know, I got very flattered.
boost that
See,
ego.
while that is
Right,
very
boosted
flattering,
the ego
right?
a little bit. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about because like I've played with a few pros, and I think we've said before the game like bends differently around them.
It does. It
But
does.
It's not that happens, right? Obviously they're playing the same game we are.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just
yeah.
the amount of knowledge that they have and confidence that they have on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And what they are used to being punished for and what they know they won't get punished for
Right.
allows them to just go for stupid shit. And it's kind of like the same thing when we play with people who, I mean, because I consider you and I definitely we're very average level players, right? I think.
Yeah.
So when we play with
Sure.
new or below average level players, it's like the same thing. It's like we're not
Yeah.
actually that good.
We're not that good.
It's
Yeah.
just everybody else playing differently than us, right?
Yeah.
Like, because again, you know, you and I might not be the best player, but we know most of the time
know
that's a
enough.
kill worth chasing, usually, or forget that kill. Here's some XP, right? We're pretty good, and I
Right.
think that actually is a big decision maker on a lot of.
Or
what
like,
makes you
why are
below
we
average,
fighting
average.
here? There's no objective. There's no
There's no point.
There's no point. Yeah.
There's
The
nothing
rest
to
of us
be
are out here
had
playing
if we
Call of
win
Duty.
this mini battle, right?
Yep.
And I think understanding that in the different levels of understanding that and knowing kind of shows. And I think that's essentially like what your friends are noticing. Because a lot of below average players, I feel like, don't prioritize neutral XP. Neutral XP is more
Yep.
important than the wave, right? Because not only is it, for me, it's XP your enemy can't have. So
Yep.
it's the swing, right? It's the swing, it's the I'm up and you're down. And thinking that kills really matter much more than they do.
Yeah.
Because they don't necessarily matter as much as you think outside of shutdown bonuses, outside of first blood bonuses,
Yep.
death timers, and if death timers aren't that long, really wasn't as impactful as you think it would be.
Right. No, my one
Especially-
buddy, he dove tower a couple times before the first back, and I'm like, that tower's fucking you up, dude. You need to not do that. It's fine later in the game when you have items and you can kill them faster and secure the kill, but man,
One piece of defense and a little HP 5 changes the world when it comes to.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think for me, because like I'm definitely in like where your friends are. I play way better when I play with somebody like at you or Froze, somebody that's better than me at seeing like, hey, this is not the fight we want to take. Everybody, let's just back reset, or hey, we need to back up and get this. Because I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, they're standing here. I want to stand here and punch them in their face. I don't really feel like running away.
Playing
Running
arena,
away
though.
sometimes is the better option.
All right.
You want that, you play arena, you play assault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, are you even playing better because we're there, or are you just playing smarter?
Yeah.
I think it's because, but in my opinion, it's
Bit of
when
both.
I'm exactly because I'm not always thinking the stuff that like you or Depp or Rod or the people that I play with that are at a higher playing capacity than I am. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna go to lane, I'm gonna get my buff, and then I'm gonna wait, kill lane, and then try to kill somebody. They're like, hey, we should actually do these couple other little things that are actually really important to the game. We don't want to be too far up because this duo that we're facing is more they want to they're more aggressive than we're going to be, so we want to play back
Matchups
here. And
matter
I'm
for
like,
sure.
Exactly. But just like knowing that and like making that call before is I think the difference that your friends are seeing and the difference I see when I play with people that are at a higher skill level than myself.
Well, and if you're have a lesser knowledge of the game, it's hard to understand. Like, I know how a Neath should act through the three main stages. Or at least I have a decent understanding. Versus how a Jingwei should act through different stages of the game.
Right.
Neath isn't quite the one who's going to want to just sit back and get all the new arm and like, hey, let's get this head. No, she's Neath. She's an early game god. You want to hammer that early game. You should be leaning into a little bit more of the tower dives, and she wants to snowball.
Yep.
Ingwei doesn't do that. She doesn't have fucking shit for early game damage. You just hoping to make it to late game, right? She is hardcore looking at the like, hey, let's not push.
Well, it's farm hard.
Go for the neutral. It's farm hard.
Farm hard.
That is the priority.
And back often because you do have the passive.
The amazing passive.
And like too,
that is a bit of it too, because some people like they're just like, oh, hunters are late game. It's like, well, generally, yes, generally, but not all. Like Neath, you want to push that early mid game pressure. Danzaburo, you want to push that early mid game pressure. Izanami, you want to push that early pressure.
Yep.
So like it does change your play style a little bit too, and that isn't just for assassin or just for ADCs, right? Because some assassins are that way. At Thanatos, you want to push your early set. You want to push that mid game. Mercury, Bakasura, 15 minutes, dude. I don't want to fight before then. And if you don't know that, if you're a newer player, you don't know that, you can too often feel like you think you're making the right decision, right? Like, because I just said, right, hey, neutral farm's the most important thing. Go for it. Unless you're an early game god, the neutral farm does.
I think there's
knock down a priority, right?
Yeah.
It's like the little things too, things that I don't personally do that well until I like when playing with somebody better that does these like the little small thing of opening your screen enough to see what the enemy team is building. I don't hardly ever do that if I'm just playing on my own. I'm not paying any attention to that.
Tab up the
Exactly. I'm just playing, man. I'm just like looking at my own stats. I'm just playing, doing whatever, and then somebody else like, hey, they have this item. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm over here just doing that, but making those little changes.
Well, you're an ADC player. Most of that's pretty fucking irrelevant to you. Like you only need to know, hey, do they have Midgard? Do they have Witchblade?
Spectral.
I'm sorry, Relic Dagger, or do they have Spectral? Like that's the only thing an ADC really cares about. Let's be honest. You don't counter build. That's nothing against ADCs. That's just how they are. That's just how they are, right? Whereas like warriors are hardcore looking at like. And supports are like, okay, who's got what aura? What does our team need? What relics do we need? Like they are way more focused on.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hold that against you too terribly, especially as an ADC main.
It's just something I noticed because like whenever I play with you, you Fro typically like kind of helping line out whatever our team is going to build, or kind of making sure that our team runs in synergy. And I'm like, I can have half the time I have a hard enough time figuring out what I'm going to build, let alone trying to think about what 4 other people are going to do, how that's going to play into what the other team's going to do. Mid game, looking at what the enemy team's doing and being like, hey, you should pick this up to do that. I'm over here like, should I build this one or this one?
90% of the time, I'm just literally hitting tab to be like, do we have fucking auras? It doesn't fucking feel like it. Or do we have any fucking anti-heal? It doesn't fucking feel like it. That's 90% of the time why I'm hitting tab. It's just like, we don't have auras, do we? We don't have anti-heal, do we? Yeah, and I think another part of it that kind of makes it a bit more difficult for, again, newer players, maybe add some false confidence for your average players. Team comps. because we did mention like early game gods, mid game gods, late game gods. You're only one god of how many on your team, and we'll stick to Joust for instance.
Yeah.
If you have a Jingwei, you have a Beset, and you have a Izanami, the way you're going to play the 3 different portions of the game is very different because Izanami is your early game. Jing's not going to do. I guess I didn't really throw a guardian in there. We'll say Cerberus. He's a pretty mid game guardian, right?
Yeah.
You're definitely going to be looking to play different right through each stages. As your Izanami's kind of fallen off, even though ADCs don't fully fall off, she becomes not quite as impactful as she once was in the early game. Right, then but your Cerberus is coming online and getting tankier, and then you're gonna have to start playing around like using his ults a little bit more. But then once you finally come online and I don't remember all the examples I gave. We'll say it was Kali, whatever, I don't care. Until your Kali finally comes online, then it's wholeheartedly about like setting up for Kali at that point. And that's something a lot of newer players might struggle with, or recognizing the fact that like, hey, we picked 3 early game gods. We do not have a late game period. So if that's a thing, there is no break. Your team doesn't have breaks. You do not. You are all gas. And that is W key till you get to the fucking W screen. Period. If you pick a late game comp, right? If you're just Jing, Geb, insert another late game god, best of luck to you to survive that first 15 minutes because it's going to be rough.
Right.
And those are just things like if you don't know all the gods, if you don't know who kind of fits where, and also how their builds affects where they are kind of coming online in the game, right? Because a damage Najah comes online a little bit later than a tank Najah. Tank Najah, you pretty much you get like 2 pieces of defense items and you're set. You are it. Anything from there, you're just getting tankier. Whereas damage Najah, like, no, I still need to pick up my Deathbringer. I still need my Rage. I still need my Pen. Like, it takes you a little bit longer to get online. You're mid to late game. But once you're on, you are on, dude, right? So that also matters. Like, who are you? What are you building? What is your team comp? And these are just little things like, it's a huge burden, and it's something you can't expect newer players or average level players to know.
Yep.
And especially where it's like some people excel at different things. So even if it is someone who does know this, they might not excel at builds. So they might not have the answers. They might not excel mechanically. So it's like they know what they need to do. They're building properly, but they're old man fingers and they miss them. Like there are so many variables.
It's the thing that makes Smite fun though, is like, when I don't watch like a bunch of SPL, but when I do watch SPL, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get back into Conquest. I'm gonna play a lot of Conquest. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. Well, watching a couple of the different pros, and obviously they're pros for a reason. You're like, man, here's what I'm gonna do this next game. I'm gonna build what they build. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do things just like they're doing. And then you get into the game, and your scenarios are obviously completely different. But you're just by watching the pros, you're kind of just gaining that like proper, I guess, placement, and like kind of like the team aspect. And that's kind of one of the really cool things about Smite is like how there is so many different players that all come together to play on a team, and you either win with that or you get absolutely shit stomped with that.
Yeah, watching Pro and the SPL can provide you with a lot of answers, right? You just got to know what the question was, right?
Yep.
Because you can definitely look at their builds and be like, oh, yeah, that's a great build. Like, I can see how great they were doing it. But you kind of got to ask yourself, because you always have the answer from them, why did they build that? Is it meta? Was it comp? Was it enemy comp? Was it counter building? Why? Right? So, again, you have the answers. You don't necessarily have the question, though. And I think a good example of that is, what was it, Season 8 Genetics Wolverine Khepri build, right? This was a high defense, high HP build, right? That worked on Khepri. Now, it did work on other gods too, but it was like build itself was meant to take advantage of Khepri's passive, right? Khepri's passive is for you get a shield that's a percent health. Your ally gets a percent of your health, or as a health shield too, right? So that's why you built really high health, and then you also Gaia, so you regenerated a shit ton, and Khepri's ult that would revive you at a certain percentage of your health, and the whole shtick was around where a Khepri that was super fucking tanky and regenerated really high amounts of HP and providing health shields to allies and yourself all over the place to just be an absolute meat shield, and then be able to ult yourself and come back at 40% of your max health, and then just, and the whole point was with the Stone of Gaia and all this is like you could sustain back up to your max HP within a matter of a minute. And it was a conquest. Again, game mode specific build too, right? This did not work as well in Arena when you can just back in 10 seconds. It was meant so you pick a fight at Phoenix, right? And then be able to be at full HP by the time you made it to Fire Giant, or to tank the Fire Giant and be at full HP by the time you made it to tank a Phoenix. So that was part of it too. So it's like if you weren't able to pick apart that build worked because it was Khepri, or that build was meant to be played in Conquest because of that reason, you could pick Khepri, you could build the same exact way Genetics did, go into Arena, and you're like, this is shit. Or you take it to your Joust, and you're like, I don't feel very fucking impactful.
Yeah.
Again, like you'd had the answers. You're like, I know what I need to do, right? I got Khepri. I did the pro build.
You just don't get
but you didn't answer the right question, right?
Yep.
I am fucking ranty today. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. I've lost track of where we've been, where we've gone, where we're going.
We're going everywhere.
Finishing up Depths games.
You thought you were driving this ship,
basically,
and I took control, and I'm flying us all over the place.
You did. Fro has the keys now. Look at him.
Depp hopped in the fucking driver's seat of the car, and I'm like, let's go boating.
And I said, I guess this is a Tesla now, and I took my hands off the wheel. Oh man. Okay, so that's games of the week then. Congratulations, team.
You know, Depp?
Woo-woo. What?
I don't know what the show notes are looking like.
I put them in the chat because I didn't know if Red could see them.
Okay.
You know.
What do you mean by chat?
The chat, the video chat.
Okay.
The voice chat.
Gotcha.
Open chat.
I was just gonna say, like,
recording
I
chat.
don't know what our next segment is, what we got going on here next.
Not much. I mean, we've been going. You've been ranting, and we've been going.
Oh wow! You even put in there what's the current meta, and I've kind of bitched about that.
You know, so it worked out. And then I was
bring
gonna
up the current meta. I just talked about how I don't like it and avoided it.
You know, that works too. Here you go, guys. Most effective tactic: avoid it.
What's the wildest build you've made and it worked?
Yeah, that kind of went off of my Danza Burrow thing, like tanky Danza. It worked. I did damage.
I'm so upset because I would have to say it's probably my stacking Ganesha.
Okay.
Because once it was online, dude, I did do a decent amount of somewhat tanky. But I'm so upset because it was a couple weeks ago at like fucking 2 a.m. in the morning. I decided to go through my VODs.
Okay.
I deleted the wrong.
Damn. Unfortunate.
I'm so mad because I was gonna upload that to my YouTube because it was a funny game.
Damn.
I don't even know if that was the most effective, but that was definitely some of the most fun. Just because it was like 5 mini games inside of the game.
Yeah. Well, all right then.
Why the hell is that like
that's
4 things before our games of the week? We always start with games of the week.
I think I just put it in the wrong spot.
Yeah, that's possible.
You know,
easy to do.
Yeah.
Diamond challenge, Halloween, do it to it.
Reminder. Yep.
I don't even know what class we're on right now. Mages?
Assassins, and I didn't even pick one.
Assassins. Dude, I played Bastet more than the assassin I picked. I fucked up, guys.
Ironically, you've probably played Bastet more than I have, and she's my. But I had plenty of time. I only needed like 80 more.
Hmm.
I think I only need like 20 more at this point. She'll be done.
I have a
Don't worry.
feeling Tsukiyomi's not going to make it this time, guys. I don't think he's gonna get leveled.
I'm not.
I
My
don't
feelings
want to
aren't
say
hurting
they
me
need
that
to
I
give
didn't
him
pick
his
one.
knock up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Red.
Oh, I was just saying I didn't pick a diamond challenge this time, mostly because I just don't ever play assassins, so
Yeah.
I know it wouldn't get done. So my feelings
that's
definitely aren't hurt that it's
amazing because you
assassins.
just don't have a choice in that anymore.
I know, but that's
Yeah.
okay. But now it's
Yeah.
fun, you know. Now,
Riggs tried
I
not
just gotta
picking
do
either,
it.
and he got assigned gods anyway.
There you go. I'll definitely do it. You know, as long as it's not assassins, man. Like I suck at all of them. But we'll give it
That's
a
the
go.
point of the diamond challenge.
Right. Get better at
Exactly.
gods.
Look at Navid Al
Because you-
Kwong. Look at me with Kali. You think I chose to be a fucking Kali diamond?
Yeah.
You know, no.
You could have not. You could have not, Fro.
Well, that's the thing. I did that. That was back before the diamond challenge was official. That's just when it's something we did amongst ourselves. When we didn't even roll, you just went to assault, and whoever you got in assault.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh.
Yeah, that was our diamond challenge. Whoever you got in assault, you fucking load up. Boom. This is it. You get one reroll. Game decides.
Did you ever get Amaterasu for a diamond challenge?
Yeah, that's what started my hatred for Amaterasu.
Yeah. See,
I
that's what I don't
chose
want
no,
to
I
have
got her
happen.
as a diamond challenge, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get Amma done, no problem.
Yeah.
I played like 5 games in a row, and utterly broke my mental.
Yeah.
And no longer play. I used to enjoy Amaterasu. I did.
She's not fun for me. I don't
I actually
like her.
I still have the memes of me not picking Amaterasu for my diamond challenge.
Yeah.
Or not playing Amaterasu during the diamond challenge that some of the challengers made ago.
And then you played her not too long ago. It was a wild time.
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't that one of your charity thing?
Yep, I guess I bring that up real quickly, since it's pretty much so done.
Yep.
I mean, technically, it's got like 3 or 4 more days, but I ended my end of it. We raised, as in we, I mean, wonderful, wonderful Frog Army, raised $250 for the Stand Up to Cancer charity event.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you guys. Super, super dope. For one of the did Stacking Ganesha for one of the incentives. I did. Bright had me do the Amaterasu solo. Brought that up. That was tough, but we won. Yeah, and I think Bright still needs to do a few more redemptions.
Okay.
That's cool though.
Yep.
Yeah. We love that.
Glad you
Pretty
did
happy,
that.
especially since my initial goal was 200. The default they always set is 200, and I just kind of leave that because I don't ever expect to make more than that, right? Right. Don't ever expect to raise more than that. But for the last 2 years, it's happened like super immediately. I'm always left in an awkward spot because I raise it, right? In both years, I've raised it to 500, but it's never really gone much above the initial like goal of 200. I'm like,
right.
I don't know. I feel awkward because it's like, should I just leave it at
Yeah.
200 and we'd be happy that we met the
Well,
goal?
you hit that 200.
Or
What did you
do
get last
I-
year? You got for your St. Jude's. You did pretty good last year for that, didn't you?
It was, I think it was again just under 500. I think we made it
Gotcha.
430 or 420, something like that.
420, nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like I don't know if I should just leave it at 200 and just we're over 200, or if I should do what I've done for the last 2 years and set a new goal, because part of the reason I do that too is because like the goal gets met within the first like 3 days.
Yeah.
Right. Which it's fucking amazing. I love that. Like, so dope. Like, thank you everybody who helps that happen. But then I'm just kind of torn. Like, I don't know if to help. I know I have my stream incentives, but I don't know if like we just let the number keep going above and beyond the goal, if that's something that would help incentivize people, or if setting a new goal to help incentivize something to achieve is a good idea. And I'm just kind of always
last year,
torn.
didn't you do your hot tub stream? Wasn't that like your big goal was the hot tub stream?
That was No. The hot tub stream was for, what was that charity? I don't remember if that
I
was
thought it was
charity or if
charity,
that was
but-
channel points.
I thought it was charity, but I could be wrong.
Might have been
But,
charity, yeah.
Hey, see, I mean, there's $200 right there. You could have raised just by putting yourself in the hot tub again.
That was wholeheartedly not worth it. Because A,
Yeah.
it was super uncomfortable. B, I had because I didn't have a chair, right?
Yep.
So I was having to sit on the ground playing on my computer. When my computer was on the desk. So it was super, super uncomfortable. Like 3 people showed up all day. So it was literally just me by myself sitting in cold water in a fucking bikini that barely fit. So it really was not the most comfortable or the most enjoyable for absolutely no one to show up. So I'm like, yeah, that ain't happening again.
No.
That's valid. The meme was worth it though.
The meme was worth it. I mean, that
You got
probably
the
would have been better if I did it on a Sunday, but at that current time is when I was doing morning streams.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Wednesday morning streams. And so that's when I did it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do Wednesday morning streams. I also do Wednesday streams in most of my streams. Oh, dude, I was
You're
so
still
mad.
doing-
I was going to stream last night. I wanted to stream, right? But I thought I had to work today because they called fucking overtime last week. And I think we mentioned it earlier how I was supposed to be working. I checked my phone at, I don't know, 10:30, right? I'd already signed off, shut down the computer, brushed my teeth, laying in bed and all that. And I checked my phone for whatever reason, just to check my schedule, and I noticed they removed my shift. I'm like all ready for fucking bed and all that shit. And I'm like, all right, this setting, because the only reason I didn't stream is because like I didn't want to stream only from fucking 9 to 11, right? Just a short 2-hour
Right.
stream. So it's like, oh, I could have.
Mhm. Damn.
At least you got some rest.
Yeah.
Got your rest. And we've got people to thank, Fro.
You do have people to thank, and I
One of
am
them's here.
wholeheartedly ready, and
Yeah,
they
it's
are
me.
here, and it's the one that always makes it awkward each week. So kind of.
Hey, you gotta get your name out there and look at that. You'll make it on the podcast someday.
You know,
You would
he's
be the
kind of
second.
not wrong. Riggs happened with
Exactly.
Riggs. That was happening
Right,
with BigRed.
Rick. You know,
Right.
you just gotta put your name out there enough time. You know, you gotta make it a meme. You gotta just have an interesting name, and you'll go places in life.
Well, I mean, wholeheartedly, just don't be a dick and be a part of the community. And if we ever need a host, we're already got a foot up, because the first place we look for if we need a co-host is our community.
And how
Yeah.
can you become part of the community? You can join the Discord in the link in the description. That's right. Yeah.
Come say hi.
I mean, because literally that is what I do. Rick in
What
the
it do?
Discord. So, like the
Nev and
personality,
Willow
we're
were
on.
in the Discord.
Nev and Willow were in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally all of our co-hosts, every single fucking co-host we ever had was someone that used to be in the Discord or is in the Discord.
Hey, and the original hosts, we were all in Defend Middle Lane's Discord.
They all quit and we took it up. So yeah, that's just kind of how we do things.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Honored to be here, guys. Thank you.
I mean, we're
Thanks
not
for
pros.
being here.
Not
You know.
we're not anyone. We're just jerk offs that like Smite and want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I know, but when this podcast, man, this podcast got through a lot of different shit at work, man, and it's I think a lot of different people enjoy it because, at least someone that was listening to a lot of the episodes. I know you guys kind of talk about being stale or whatever, but for me, it's just kind of having like an hour and a half chat without having to say a word with your buddies. They just kind of talk about the stuff you want to talk about and make you laugh. So thanks for
Well,
doing what you guys do.
There we go.
Well, we say
Appreciate you
when
guys.
we say stale, it's not that like we are like no, we're intentionally dropping out stale content or anything. Because that's come like
Right.
when you get the 40-minute long episodes. Because that's it. That's what we had, and we're not going to give you stale stuff. So that's all we could muster.
Right.
Or, that's anything beyond that we thought was going to be stale. So that's where we'll cut it. Like, that's why we're going to
Yeah.
bi-weekly, so we don't do the stale stuff. Like, we're not intentionally trying to do it. Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely know what you mean. It gets you through some shit.
Can you
I
get
gotta
us
say,
through
'cause
these thank yous,
I
bro?
don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Some days I think it's a blessing, other days I do think it's a curse. But for whatever reason, I seem to be the person, or I guess it could happen to Dep and Nev too, they just don't share it. I seem to be the person that a lot of people reach out to tell us how much the podcast helps them get through work.
Yeah, it is a
difficult
more you thing, I
times,
think. It has
various-
happened to me
various
And I-
things.
very rarely.
It is very humbling. There are sometimes it is a bit frightening.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say intimidating, but kind of intimidating. Yeah, it's definitely a
fair.
thing.
Yeah.
It's awesome though.
That's
I
a
think
come,
I
like,
think it's because
I'm-
Fro's the only one without a face on his Discord picture. I think that's why Fro gets
Could be
reached
it.
out to, is because the frog. It's a lot friendlier than looking at somebody's picture. And be like,
Friendly
are they
frog.
gonna yell at me or?
I always figured
Yes,
that
the
is
beard's
because I'm the one who just
intimidating.
doesn't shut the fuck up, one or the other.
Could be. Could be.
Or I'm like super active on Discord. I don't know.
That's probably what it is.
That helps. That helps a lot. I am the opposite of super active on Discord.
I'm trying.
It's
to be.
almost like if there's something going wrong and I am active, like people need to like hide.
Yeah,
Because I'll
Depp
ban
and Bryce.
someone.
If Depp and Bryce
I'll
get
ban
involved in the
someone.
conversation,
Better not get
you
my
can
face.
already know that we have had the discussion in the mod section and you are in the wrong, and they are coming in here to let you know politely, unless you're not listening, then it will stop being polite.
And
That
like,
you are
here's
in the wrong.
thing. Here's my perspective. I don't care who's wrong or right. This is now a dictatorship. Follow
That's
the
the head
rules or else. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
okay, can we touch on that real quickly? And then maybe I'll
Judge,
think
jury,
about
and
doing some thank
executioner.
yous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Freedom of speech
Yeah.
doesn't exist online.
No.
It
Well, here's
doesn't
the thing.
exist.
You can speak freely. Go do it somewhere the fuck else.
Yeah, do it in your own area.
Yeah.
And I'm not
this ain't
trying to
gonna work
be
for
all
you.
like silence your voice or anything like that, but I know a lot of people get pissed off like on Twitter or like name a social media platform where like I'm not allowed to say what I want. Yeah, it's not actually public. I know
No,
you think it's public.
Private companies.
It's a private company.
Yep.
And everyone who signs up agrees their terms and services, right? And now everyone in the public is open to join their private group social platform. Just like any businesses, while yes, they are in public, are private property, and you can be to be removed. Just like Walmart can tell you to get the oop, that was my mouse. Just like Walmart can tell you to get the fuck out of Walmart, and you can't go, but this is fucking, hey, I'm allowed to shop wherever I want. No, it's their store. Get the fuck out. Just like you can't come into our Discord and start saying a bunch of shit. No, it's our Discord. Get the fuck out. That's just how stuff works.
Just be a decent person, yo.
That
Then the
too.
rules. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's like basically the only rule, right? Is don't be a dick. I think that's about the only
Honestly,
one in
it kind of umbrellas over every other rule.
there. It does.
You know.
Although I will have to say, one of the few times ever Fro has came out and said certain slurs, and that's because we had someone, and this was only in our moderator chat, by the way, because we had a certain someone thought it'd be a bit funny to be like, what do you mean bad words or hurtful words or discrimination not allowed? Like, and he was just kind of being joking around, right? And I just fucking laid out a big list of the, like, you might as well call it the official list of things that weren't allowed. And he was like, oh, wow, I didn't think you'd actually say that. I'm like, no, just so we're clear, these are what is not allowed, period. This isn't a joke. This is it. This is the rules.
Right.
The only reason there are rules is because people did some shit.
Fucking someone did it. We didn't even have
Someone
a
did
rules
it.
section until someone did it. We didn't
It was
think
like a
we
year or
needed
two
to
in
have
before we
a
got
rule
rules.
in BOTG about how you're not allowed to make pro-Nazi, pro-racist, pro-Hitler fucking jokes. Until it happened. And that's why we now have those rules. That's why I went and very specifically laid out in the moderator chat, again, not public, what is to be said and not to be said. It happened. They're there.
You know, Fro, I'm reading through the rules again. Post in the appropriate channels or risk your post being deleted. I want to go on a delete spree. Just go a little over the top and be like, wrong channel.
Wrong.
Well, even then, we left it open ended. Like, I'm not trying to sound like we're fucking super strict on our rules. What that say? Post in the appropriate channel or
risk. Right.
It being deleted.
It's a risk.
Or whatever, dude. We might not do it. Shit happens.
Or you might not know where to put
Posted
it.
a
It's not like you're gonna get.
Yeah. You decided to post this in IRL or in general or wherever. We're not that strict. What we really care about is you're not going to come into our Discord saying slurs. Period.
Exactly.
For sure. But also, it's a Smite Discord. So, like, Smite and gaming topical. You know?
I mean, yeah. Like, but then even then, we got certain sections. Like, we got non-Smite sections. We got a movie section. We got a
and then that falls under the like
Non-Smite
that category of talking. You know,
and even
we
then,
don't have a racist channel. Essentially,
we don't have a racist channel, so
that's not welcome here.
We don't have a political channel. None of that.
No, okay, let's go back to that one, because I do find those ones when we do the whole no politics thing. That's not entirely true. We don't want you discussing your economical politics. Right?
But also, like, we don't want you just dominating a channel between two people.
No. Right. Which we do have that rule too. If you dominate entire discussion and I forget our wording. It's like if you dominate the discussion and becomes blah blah blah.
Like take it somewhere else. If you want to have
and even then, that rule was
conversation
specifically between two people that would have like an hour-long conversation between the two of them in a channel.
Each message is less than a line.
Yeah, and they were the Discord. People that would be like, "Hey, what's up? What do you think about this? This is what I think." Instead of just doing it one notification, it's like, dude, you just buzzed my phone 4 times to ask one question. And then the other person responded the same way. Like, kind of. It's like, oh my God. But, so even with the political things, like, I don't think that politics are wholeheartedly banned. Some things are just wholehearted or part of being human, right? Like, we do allow... We just don't care who you're voting for. We don't want to talk about that. We're not looking to talk about certain things, but some social problems are political, right?
So that's fair. Yeah.
Gender identity, sexual identity. We don't really have discussions on it. We support LGBT people. We support minorities in this country. Like, that is our stance. And just by saying that, that is inherently political.
Sir, but I think it's like you worded it in the rules. It says we are a big fragging family gaming community. The channels we have are meant for us to bond and increase camaraderie. With that, no spicy discussions on topics such as politics or religion. So I think you guys worded
even
it
then, like, we allow it,
you know,
because like, and we'll touch on the religion one. I fucking love religious discussion. I really do. I personally do. I know most people are like, oh, I don't want to talk about it at all. But I used to have a religious podcast that Beard and I fucking, like, I've been on a Christian podcast and like been interviewed by them. Like, I love discussing epistemology. Right. Like, I am all about that. Others aren't. Approach me, I'll be willing to have the discussion. Approach someone else and they say, I don't feel like talking about it. That's where the conversation ends.
Exactly.
Right? So no spicy comics. How did we get into another fucking rant when I was Thank yous.
It's
We're
all
on to
my
thank
fault.
yous.
It's all my fault.
Thank yous. Thank yous.
No, I think I that all devolved because we got talking about how people send me messages about cast affects them.
Yes. Yes. There was a train of thought somewhere.
Was.
And then Fro hijacked it and he became the conductor.
Fro
became a
hijacked
boat,
the
man.
episode title. There you go, Nev.
Right?
Fro hijacks. I was gonna say Fro hijacks the plane, but let's not make that the title. That's still
Let's
probably-
not.
Fro hijacks the boat.
Hijacks
Much
the
better.
battle.
I am the captain now.
There you
Look
go.
at me.
Fro
Yep.
hijacks the Battleground. I love it.
Who can make memes? We're gonna need the meme of the guy that says, "Look at me, I'm the captain now," except put my face on it.
Fro, yes, yes.
For the YouTube.
Yep, that'd be great.
Excellent.
Very much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much to our wonderful, amazing patrons that help us improve the podcast. Ariel Steele, Asbestos Dog, Bria Chia Pet, Weatherman Keith, Jade Flagon, Baseball, Griff, Bombi, Daddy Boy, Numeric B, Caveman, Neo, Coffin Monkey, CDR, Let Snorland, Weatherman, Snorlax, Weatherman, Adios, Sir Ember, K Brojo, Famous Freak, Stoffmeister, Backlash, Dr. Godfucker, Lantern, Reese, Warlord, Yo, Batskid, Echodunk, Doc, Necro, Otter Joe, Riggs, Dracon Prime, Glendwiggle, Granite Boy, Camel Hoss, Void vs. Void, Enbright, Sloppy Satch, Scion Gemini, Batman, Sandman, Aquasoft, Kilowatt, I'm a Hater, The Big Red Mr. Man, Colorado, Amberbug, Folk Hero. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Not you, motherfucker. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Technically, it is me.
Technically, it
Both
is you.
ways. It hit my account the first of this month.
I think that's us.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that Red's first episode?
Bye,
done?
everyone. Yeah.
Bye.
Sorry, Red. I knew you were probably hoping your first would be prettier, but it was Depp and I.
No, it was good.
You know, that's how it be
Do I
sometimes.
stop the audacity now, or
Bye,
We
everybody.
stopped the Audacity?
Yeah.
just keep it rolling? Or
No, you just hit the stop button.
okay, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to stop.